I tell you, those are Diamondbacks. Okay. Perfect. I have the old wood ones. Old. All right, hit them up. Have fun. All done. So,
Hey everybody, and thanks for joining us. We're getting a couple of things set up over here. As you can see, the match has already started. As far as the commentating, we'll be with you in just a moment. These guys are moving along pretty quick, so got the first game in the books. Mr. Brian Irwin taking care of that one. As you can see, we've got Brian and Carl, two of my favorite players to be able to watch. Also joined here today with Mr. Don Martin.
Hello, everybody. Hope everybody's having a good time. This is going to be an outstanding match. Both of them are very, very talented and experienced players. I expect this to be a very quick run.
Yeah, they're definitely anybody that's watching that has seen them play before, especially our whether it's lower level player, mid level players, you can even high level players. You can definitely learn something from both of these guys. Both, I'd say they're extremely evenly matched, which is kind of funny because they have very different styles about it.
They do. Brian has a very aggressive style, and Carl has a very conservative style. So both of these styles are going to come into play within this match, and I'm looking forward to seeing who's going to start taking advantage early in this match.
Yeah, just noticed thanks to one of our friends there, let us know that it's showing 10 ball down the bottom. We're going to fix that real quick. There we go. See why? All right, so now that's fixed. Get back to trying to operate this camera a little bit. So, all right, starting off with a little bit of a tricky one on this second rack. The 2 ball is not a problem, and that 3 ball is definitely hidden a little bit over there on the sides. We'll see how Brian decides to handle this one. They're playing obviously 9 ball. Now that the screen reflects, they are doing a called 9 ball. All the other ones are slop counts and 3 foul rule. And the winner's going to break. The loser is going to rack on this one. It looks like he left him an edge of it on this one, so we'll expect him to just split the sides and try to put the cue ball. Looks like he's leaving it behind it.
That is an excellent save.
Yeah, he's still left a little bit of an edge, but 6 ball is going to make it tough to probably just tap it and run up table. And so he lays it right on top of it.
Very well done.
And Jeremy, that's actually something I was just talking about yesterday. That they don't do a whole lot of the big tournaments around. Don't play BCA leagues. So yeah, they're definitely 2 of the better players that I know that do not have Fargo ratings. Nice hit there by Brian, but not too much reward as he leaves an open shot for Carl. And it was
Yeah, this match is starting to take off a little slower than I anticipated. Both players are very skilled, and they are showing a great deal of respect amongst each other. Nobody's giving up anything more than they absolutely have to.
definitely left some distance on that one, which as many people that's in the area know, Brian does do the U.S. amateurs he's done it every year for a while now. At least the ones that I've gone to, and even some of the ones that I haven't been able to make it to. Always makes the championship round. I don't believe Carl's done that one in a few years now.
No, he hasn't. Carl's always been a very competitive player, as Brian has as well. Knowing that Brian has won a national championship in the past, he goes to the nationals every year. He likes upper level competition. He feeds off of it, and he does quite well.
Yeah, absolutely. And for those of you that may or may not be familiar, um, Carl and his wife Valerie both are the licensees for our local Tampa Bay Tap group up here. Great league that we've been involved in for quite some period of time.
And they make it fun for all the players. They listen to all the input all the players do, and then they make an informed decision on any kind of changes they do make to compliment them on that.
Yeah, I know they've been playing for a number of years. I don't know exactly how long each of them have been playing. Longer than I have, I know that's for sure.
Well, when I met Carl, I met him at Planet 9 Ball back when it was open, and that's been a good 20 years. And Brian, came along not long after that, and they both have been very skilled players for many, many years.
Yeah, it's funny because I remember, and I've told this story before, but back whenever, pretty close to when I first met Brian, I was asking him about like some of the different things that he does. Oops. Sorry about that, everyone. But I was asking him about, how do you get to be at the level that he's at, for those of us that don't just have the natural ability. And it was, I think it was almost offensive to say that because he was very quick to say that it's not, that for him, it was definitely not just natural ability, that he used to practice an extreme amount, that it was basically a second job to him, and that that's really the best way to do it. There are people out there that obviously just kind of pick up a stick and start shooting great, but he definitely had to work towards it. So after finding that out, it was real easy to say, okay, well, I guess if I want to start getting towards that level, then it's time to stop trying to find the easy way out and just practice, practice, practice.
But I can tell you, when it comes to elevating your game, it's going to take a lot of dedication, a lot of time at the table. You got to hit balls religiously. You got to practice drills. You have to play in as many upper level tournaments as you can. That way you can see the different styles and you can learn from all your oppositions. I can say this from personal experience because, I've been around for many, many years. And, at one time I was a very good player. Haven't seen that game in a long time, but that's okay. But I enjoy watching some of the great players. There's a fine line between a good player and a great player.
Absolutely.
And it's all in how you mature in the game.
And and Jeremy makes a good point whenever he shoots things. I've watched him each year that I've gone over there shooting in the USAMs, and out there he does have a tendency to be a little more conservative. And what we're basing that on is probably has to do a little bit more with league play than some of the upper level tournament play and some of like what we're watching here, which is obviously a lot different. So I guess you're gonna bring out the style that you need at the point in time. Because even on this one, we're not seeing him, stroke quite as hard as what he has in the past. And of course, whenever I say that, it kind of scoops up a little bit and gets away from him.
Yep.
Carl back to the table with 4 balls, pretty open, and so he's got a good chance of getting out on this one.
Yeah, that was the first error I've seen Brian do today.
Mm-hmm. You're absolutely right, Jeremy. I do it all the time. I don't even know why people show up anymore as much as I jinx them on this channel. A nice control on that one from Carl. See a little draw shot over here by that side pocket. Doesn't look like too much trouble. Brian, we've got Don Martin over here with us.
Hello, everybody out there. Hope everybody's having a good time and enjoying this matchup. Carl's got his first game now, and that should change the tempo of the match a little bit, but it's still too early to tell. There's going to be some very defining moments in this match. Carl is a very good pattern player. He doesn't have very many weaknesses, if any. And the same goes with Brian. He doesn't have any weaknesses, if any. All depends on how the balls are rolling. And always remember, the balls know who's shooting better. They've got a mind of their own.
You deserve a roll, and you deserve a roll. And you do not deserve a roll. A little short on that one.
One ball.
Kind of dry braid, but it looks like you can probably still make that one ball from there. It's got a little bit of a path just real first. Looks like he's going to try to bend a little bit, so it must be kind of hooked behind a little more than what it looks like.
But that one ball does look like it's pretty deep in the pocket.
Mm-hmm.
That can sometimes be a nemesis on a diamond table.
Yeah, no doubt. He makes a great shot and leaves a long but very open shot on that 2 ball. So,
yeah,
great shot from Brian on that one.
Yeah, Brian's staying out of trouble, though. Yeah.
He's got a very good eye for just being able to, even if he has to take a harder shot, just making sure that ball comes out into an open place so that he does have a shot, as opposed to myself and what I think a lot of amateurs are trying so hard to get perfect position that they end up getting behind something. They're trying to sneak into such small windows. And
yeah, you can't always go by pinpoint position. Sometimes you just got to look for an area.
Yep.
And then that will open up the table immensely for you. So, Alan, when are we going to see you on some of these live streams?
Well, I keep using the excuse that there's a lot of buttons back here and nobody's able to run the live stream, but that's not necessarily true. It's really not that difficult. But as long as I can live that lie, I keep myself from embarrassing myself. But I have been on one time before. It'll probably happen again soon. Get a lot of good friends starting to bark off a little bit more here and there.
Yeah, it's an amazing thing. I know when I was getting ready to go play in the U.S. Open, that the one thing I didn't want to do is embarrass myself when I was out there. And fortunately, I achieved that goal. I did not embarrass myself.
Yep.
But I had the hardest opponent that I could think of that year was playing Ralph Souquet. And it was an amazing match because it went hill, which I didn't expect to get that far. But at the same time, the man showed what he was made of, and he defeated me. I have nothing but respect for the man.
Yeah, I've heard the name. I've heard he's pretty good. So.
Yeah. At that time, he was a 14-time world champion, and I went toe-to-toe with him. I was happy. But at the same time, I was the underdog, and I knew that.
Kind of jacked up over that 8 ball, kind of threw that one out a little bit. So Brian gets back to the table with a relatively decent chance. Yeah. Long straight shot, though.
Yeah. Yeah, this one, I would have to say Brian should be okay on this round. But don't let me jinx him.
It looks like he jumped up a little.
Sometimes when you're playing these matches like this, it's very easy to rush yourself when you need to pace yourself.
Mm-hmm.
One of the most important lessons to learn in your pool playing career is you gotta pace yourself. Understand what your do's and don'ts are and what your limitations are, and then you should do quite well.
Yeah, I think that limitations is probably part of the key. Because just because you did it once on your home table doesn't mean it's going to happen often.
Yeah.
And there again, that's one of the things that I love so much about watching them is they don't take those kind of chances. They move the ball. Carl, for as long as I've known him, has never been a one to really stroke the ball hard. He's going to move that cue ball as little as possible, and it works very well.
Right now, we got an even 2-2 game.
Matching up about like I would have expected it to.
We were expecting them to go pretty much head to head.
I like that, Muhammad. Yeah, that he said he didn't know that Carl still played. He thought Sal had retired him, and Sal makes a lot of people want to quit. So
that's only because he's the biggest net out there. One day Sal will put on his big boy panties.
Ooh, Carl with a good break lets that cue ball go a little bit, and it finds its way into that bottom corner.
You are talking to Sal with a goatee. Yeah, that's him. My favorite net. But Sal's come a long way too. His game's gotten a lot better than it used to be.
It's been a big supporter of ours from the beginning. So I definitely appreciate Sal and the good words that he's put in for us.
Yeah.
And Mr. Trexler, no, this is opponent rack on this one. Ooh, overcuts it a little bit. Gonna get a little lucky. I think it peaked out
I think it peaked out a little bit.
They're gonna make that a really difficult shot going up there.
Feel like I'm in a rocket ship.
This is our jail cell, and the lights go out whenever the stream starts.
I remember when I was in the Air Force, when I was in the cockpit, there's a number of different monitors in front of you, and you just focus on the monitors, not what you could physically see in front of you.
Mm-hmm. That was a really good attempt by Carl, and got a little lucky with the
believe.
Yeah, it kind of double bounced in that pocket, kicking back out against the short rail. But that pocket where Brian's standing down there is an awfully large one with that 3-ball sitting right at the edge. Kind of makes a funnel out of it. So I'd almost expect him to potentially want to go for it, but of course it's going to kick out the next ball if he does.
On the other hand, they could also tighten up the pocket. And he went for a safe.
It's like he just about got it. It did.
Yeah. Not the shot he wanted to shoot, but he'll make something out of it. If not, get a good save. Yeah, Buddy Hall used to tell me over the years on the pro tours that if you don't like your shot, hook them. Bury them.
Just absolutely deep as possible.
Exactly, and I'll tell you that, Buddy has always had one of the best strokes I've ever seen. And competing with him over the years was a joy to bestow.
Nice shot by Brian. Got a little bit of a bump. I don't know that he completely cleared that 6-ball, but we'll be able to see if he can get back down to it from. See, he's going to have to come off that one from the 4-ball up there. He'll leave a little bit of a challenge. We'll see how he decides to handle that one.
Very well done.
Mr. Muhammad said thank you for your service.
Thank you.
Said you weren't a Marine, but at least you did serve.
Talking about, I was the tip of the iceberg. I retired as an officer. All my colleagues back in the day, made me look lousy at my job. Everybody's well trained. Thank you for your service, Muhammad.
Sal, thank you for the stars. Obviously, we always appreciate that.
No matter how much smack we talk between us, Sal, I still appreciate you.
I definitely got into a little bit of a safety battle on this one. It's gonna continue on this shot, man.
Yeah.
They're doing a great job with it. Victoria, the stars is kind of something. Well, it's not quite as new to Facebook specifically, but a little newer to us. But when you look in the comments section, you'll actually see a little star on there. And basically, what that is you can purchase stars from Facebook and use that to be able to give to whatever streams you're watching that has the stars being enabled. So it's just it's another way of doing like different donations and things like that. And it's nice of Facebook to kind of put something in place that gives, obviously the recognition to the people that are helping out. That's a really well played safety from Carl on that last shot, getting behind that 6 ball. See how Brian decides to handle this one. It's like he may have just a tip of an edge, but it's going to be tough to get defense. But forget the defense. He's going for the shot.
Yep. That's Brian.
That was a really, really great try right there. Well, I think he was, like I said, I think he was just out of the option of trying to play it safe on that one. So he just about found the perfect way to get out of it.
Brian's a very smart player and very well educated in the game, and he can normally make a shot that most people can't.
And both these guys are so quick to be able to help out with coaching for other league players and sticking around, and that's the kind of people that I enjoy being around. It's you spend all this time trying to learn things for yourself, and now you're still willing to take the time to help others get that way as well. I'm sure they've had their assistance along the way, and that was apparently a pay it forward moment for the person before.
Carl has had some very good sparring partners over the years, both pros and non-pro players. So he's had some good opportunities, but then so is Brian. That's the reason why I say they're both very well skilled, and they're both very well matched, opponents. And this is going to be one of the better matches that you'll see here at this location because of the getting the two freed up from their lives to be able to come and do this performance is a great thing.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And you don't really see too many people that are both friends and frenemies.
A bit of an unfortunate roll on that one, and ran back to the table with ball in hand.
But it's still too early to really pick a favorite here due to the fact that this battle is going to go back and forth all evening. Glad they chose the big table opposed to the baby table. Yeah, this is one of the better setup rooms that I've come into and come across in many, many years.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. We've tried to do our homework on it.
Yes, and you've done a lot of studying and done your homework, and you've put together a really great opportunity for many, many players to come and play without all the hassles of being in the full-fledged pool room.
That can be tricky in its own, and we've said before on the stream that this is a very different type of setting than going and playing matches at your local pool hall.
Yeah, you don't have all the disturbances that you would have, in an actual pool room.
Mm-hmm.
And these are better tables here than you're going to get in most of your pool rooms. Diamond table you can't beat.
Yeah, they're definitely pretty solid. We got Brian going up 3-2 on that one. Played some really good position play on that last one. Moved around, made that one look super simple. And anybody that plays this long enough knows that doesn't always matter how easy the out looks. You still got to put the cue ball there. Mr. Henry, thank you very much. And definitely something we love doing. Appreciate people coming in and watching streams with us. And so not too successful of a break on that. What's that? So for some reason, it is not reflecting the update score. Let's stop and restart this. See if we can figure out why it's reporting on one scoreboard and not the other. Because it is 3-2 right now. Brian in the lead. We'll back that camera up so you can see the scoreboard back there while I'm figuring out what's going on. So you got problems with a database server out there, so I'll trying to fix that. I'll see if we can see what we can do about getting the scoreboard updated manually here in just a moment.
Like that scoreboard you got up there.
It's great. This is actually the first time I've had trouble with it. So the database that actually holds all that information is out in the interwebs, and it's not being very nice to me right at the moment. So in the meantime, we can still update everything manually, so we'll just have to do that, which means I'll be a little bit slower than those guys. Carl with a great shot there and great position play as well.
Very good shot.
I don't see too much trouble in these next couple. Everything looks like it's got a connector, so expect good things.
Yeah, Carl's got quite a unique cue that he shoots with. I think it's only 11 losses.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so that's the reason why he doesn't move the cue ball around like Brian does, because Brian is shooting with about a 19.5 or 20 ounce cue.
Oh, that's pretty amazing.
Yes.
I knew it was a little lighter. I've never shot with it myself. So.
Well, the earlier part of my career, I tried different things, different cues. I actually played with a 17 ounce cue. Would you figure I'm a big guy, 300 pounds, 6 feet 3 inches tall, and I'm shooting with a 17 ounce cue. But it works very good for me, and it works good for my style. And fortunately, that it's going to different people have different styles, and different equipment is going to work differently for them. But Brian, he just switched to a different cue a couple of years ago, and it's definitely elevated his game. either into a thinking game now.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good sign. Both trying to change the tempo in the game.
Good job. Good job.
Ocean in the sun. I'm gonna fix that. Way too much noise in the background over here.
You know, you got a lot to think about out and while you're in this booth.
Yeah, that's why I can still claim that reason for not getting out there. So as long as whenever somebody comes by, just make it look like it's difficult, and we're a lot better off. Brian with a very narrow miss on that 6 ball in such great position on that 7 ball afterwards too.
Yeah, they're both playing very solid.
And now I see the comment about the ring game. One might stay, but I know that if I'm not mistaken, I believe Brian actually wanted to start a little bit earlier today because he did have something to do. So you might miss out on that opportunity. There goes that roll that just kind of kept taking that cue ball a little bit behind that 8.
Yeah.
Getting himself into a little bit of a jam here.
Yeah, Carl mentioned something to me today that I should have called him up to have him come practice over at my house last night. And I didn't want to throw him off a little bit because there is a difference, pretty significant difference between the speed of this table and the table at the house.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Plus, mine's got the fresher cloth,
Mm-hmm.
you know, so it makes it faster also. But at the same time, I want him to have every opportunity to put on a good performance opposed to, you know, racking a lot. But Carl will always be up there in the running with anybody who plays.
Mm-hmm. Again, same pockets, just not being very agreeable. Maybe we need to check the size of the balls and make sure they fit in that pocket. But
Yeah, I think that 8 ball just grew a little bit.
yeah, this is looking pretty good.
Only he stays off that rail.
And,
Oh, he's okay.
yeah, he's got such a smooth stroke that I don't think he's affected as much as someone like myself with sitting on the rail. But he is off of it an inch and a half or so.
Now we're back.
Right in the corner.
Now we're back to 3-3.
Yay! Now the scoreboard's working. So good.
Score's working now.
Yeah. Well, the scoreboard was always working. Now on my side, not so much. Which I guess is the good problem to have, because at least they're able to keep the score out there, and we can always see it from in here.
I always look at it. My perspective is the more equipment you have, the more possibilities of failure.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, we've got some couple of things coming in to help reduce the number of knob switches and buttons.
Yeah.
Just for said reason.
Automation.
Too many breaking points.
It's a great thing.
Still getting that. It's gotta make it to rail. I think it came rail first, but he does get down there and ended up being a good shot. Really tough cut for Carl. Come back to the table on this one, which probably deserved. That's pretty close to the same shot that he left Brian a minute ago. Maybe even a little easier.
See, Ryan's over there making an adjustment. You know, guess he's not too happy with the shaft he was shooting with. So that's the benefit of having a cue with multiple shafts.
Mm-hmm.
You're not feeling it, then move to the next shaft.
Great shot by Carl. It really gets down there in a deep spot. Yeah, he's Brent's kind of been between a couple of different options because he had always, or he, for the longest time, had been a Bucci fan from whenever I first knew him, and then he started using some the Mez cues, which I think he may still be using. I'm not sure if that's the one that he's got right now. Did try out the carbon fiber for a bit, and he's definitely got a wood chef that's on there now. So just playing around with his options and seeing which one works the best for him.
Yeah, it's early enough in the match to where you can make your adjustments early, so you can actually try to do better in the long game.
Carl, on the other hand, he'll pick up a broomstick. It doesn't seem to
I've seen him play
make
with
too
them
much.
up.
Doesn't seem to make a whole lot of difference to it.
Yeah, I've played a game with him at his house, and we played with 14 balls. No, I'm sorry, 45 balls. That was an amusing game.
I'd always be scared to play against somebody that's using a broom or a mop or something, because I'm always scared they'd beat me, and I'm not sure if I can handle that.
Well, for me, I've been in a lot of bars, a lot of different rooms all over the country, to where, sometimes you're just trying to fish out people, and then do all kinds of stupid and crazy things just to get them interested in a game with you, whether you be coming out on the top end or the bottom end of it. Is you never know which end you're going to be on.
Well, it's funny because I mean, obviously there's a lot of pros that have learned to shoot one-handed or with in different fashions, and I mean they practice so much that at some point in time you got to break them and knock me up a little bit.
Well, when it comes to like these guys that like that want to play one-handed, there's a lot of people who say they're playing one-handed, but they're using the rail as an aid.
Mm-hmm.
And the way I was taught to play one-handed, your cue didn't touch the table. If your cue touches
floating
the table,
one-handed.
you're one-handed jacked up, and if you can play one-handed jacked up, you can play one-handed. If not, then you might as well just be playing with both your hands. Because English becomes a factor when you're playing one-handed jacked up. It's a really, really unique game.
Mm-hmm. So that's rolling pretty good. Shooting some great shots down here.
Going quite well, right? Carl has now taken a commanding lead. It's up 4-3.
That's good. Right, just to make sure that everything's working like it's supposed to, and sure it looks like it is.
Yeah.
Take a second look at Carl's finish on game number 7 there. Get over here and see this break and see if Carl parks that cue ball in the middle where he wants to. It's kicked back towards the middle, but it was that's not favorable.
Yeah, there's a great deal of respect between these two opponents. Well, we can definitely say nobody's just running with it.
Mm-hmm. No, it should be. Hopefully, we got everything set. We'll find out. But a little bit of fun here going from the 3 to the 4 and trying to see if he's going to try to sneak into that backside of that 4 ball. He's going to go ahead and play the combo.
Very well done.
Great control.
That's the hardest part about doing a combo. Sometimes you can't control where the second ball goes.
It's coming off the rail. You call that one a little on the light side.
Yep.
Carl back up the table with, I imagine going to be a safety opportunity. See, make sure I do. See a 5 ball sitting on one side and a 9 ball where that, I believe that cue balls get ready to hide behind. Up with the other way. Looks pretty successful with that cue ball sitting right behind that 5 ball. 4 ball's not too far behind, so we might see a jump cue come out.
And they both jump very well.
Mm-hmm. Oh, we've seen both of them definitely make some amazing shots, not just to get over a ball, but accurate both. And it's I know, like myself, have really not mastered the whole being able to draw or use a little bit of top whenever it comes to a jump shot. That's a level past where I'm at, and I've seen both of these guys do both of those shots.
Well, the jump shot has its place in the game, but in my opinion, that's pretty much a last resort you want to use, because you can't always control jumping the ball as much as you'd like to. Like here, Brian jumped, and apparently it must have massaged in the air because he didn't hit the object ball, and that could actually cost him a game here. But only time will tell. And now we got a nice, relatively simple pattern here to play, and this falls into Carl's hand because he's a very good pattern player.
Mm-hmm. The one person had told me before. Of course, there's always going to be the controversy on whether or not jump cues should be allowed or not be allowed, and I get the fact that it is still a skill shot that it should be allowed. But somebody actually brought up a point that I have ever since. Stay up. I just did catch that point. But somebody brought up a point that I actually thought was pretty valid, and that is if I call a defense on a shot and hook it behind something, then that's basically saying because I called that defense, because I put it there intentionally, you are not allowed to pull out a jump cue. If it goes there by accident, then you 100% are allowed to, and I can see the justification behind that. So it's some people just don't like to be used at all. Period. In the story.
My opinion is it shouldn't be allowed for any one particular type of opportunity. Either jump cues should be either allowed or not allowed completely. I don't think there's a gray area.
Mm-hmm.
I believe I'm in favor of the jump cue being allowed and jump shots being allowed, but there are some host locations that forbid them due to the fact that it can damage their equipment. And when you have a tournament in a room, you're going to have people that are inexperienced, which can easily damage the table.
That's where, and granted, they have the potential for doing more damage. Now, as far as the cloth getting ripped or something like that from scooping, if you got good cloth, it's realistically not going to happen.
Scooping is not a jump shot,
and I 100% agree. But that's what whenever you say that jump shots are allowed, you're going to get 50% of the people that decide that's what a jump shot is. And because we still see it all the time, even in league, whenever people are brand new and don't know what a real jump shot is. But to the point of the different host locations, I get it, because it is a lot of damage. Even if you do know what you're doing, you're going to see every single spot out there. And I know it's just a white spot like what the breaks are, but it's a lot out.
Yeah, but you get a jump shot on top of a jump shot on top of a jump shot in the same location. Sooner or later it's going to wear those threads thin, and next thing you know, you're going to have a tear in your table.
Mm-hmm. And it only takes one spot to ruin the entire table as far as the cloth's concerned. I mean, you're not going to hurt the slate.
I agree.
But I mean, if you get one hole or one weak spot, then you're going to have to pull it off. It's not like you can stitch it up.
Yeah, and it's not a $20 repair.
It is most definitely not.
You know, I've recovered enough tables to where, you know, I've seen a lot of people that shoot with cues that don't even have tips on them, and you know, they wonder why is that cloth getting damaged. Yeah. And I tell them, you know, you fall along the lines of, you know, no brains, no headaches. Yeah. You know, it's you know, there's just some people that just don't use their brain when it comes to things. And like when you like I was saying earlier, you know, both Brian and Carl both are very skilled at the jump shot. I've never seen either one of them get close to damaging a table from their jump shots.
You know, if, in all honesty, as you know, if I've got a host location, I've got to rule. You know, if there's a rule that says I have to rule one of those out, it's actually going to be that full jacked up masse. I don't care about whenever it comes to jump shots that much, but how many people actually know how to, you know, put a full U on a ball and jack up where the tip is going to slam against the table, and bending a ball, that's a whole different thing. But
I agree. Yeah, because you know you can never have 100% control over a masse.
yeah, there's only so many Mike Massey's out there, and people like that. And granted, you know, if you're making a living at it, then you probably know how to do it. But most of us are not going to.
Well, you know, I played against a lot of the greats, and the person that taught me how to do a masse shot was Ismail Pates, also known as Morrow. Very, very talented player. I was playing him at Hard Times Billiards in Bellflower, California. Well, he was the one person that masse better than anybody I've ever met, and he showed me some shots that put me in awe. But he also said it took him a lot of years to develop that skill.
Mm-hmm. That's a great shot from Brian on that one.
Yes, it was.
It sure looks. Maybe he has a piece of it, but it's not a whole lot if he does.
A lot of things could have gone wrong with that safety shot, you know, and he came out pretty good on it.
We have to deal with that 6-8 a little bit later on, but they're going to have a couple of options there. He's still
Carl made a very good chase there. Very well done.
Think he's gonna take a stab at this one or try to hide it back over. Like it's a lot further off now, so it would be a little tougher to try to stick it back over by that 6-ball again.
If he tries to baby it, he risks scratching also.
100%.
You know, there's too many things that could go wrong here. He just needs to barely bump it and get it to the rail.
All right, three-way combo. I think he'll trim off the sides of this one.
I believe Carl is going to do a safe. And he's just going to graze the 5 and put it underneath the 6-ball.
Mm-hmm.
And then, you know, that's going to put the cue ball on this bottom rail.
He's going straight into it.
Very well done.
All right.
I didn't see that coming. You called it.
That 5-ball sitting over there on the other side, then it's got a pretty easy lead if he just cinches this one in the corner. Right down the rails. He would have 5 balls sitting, but there again, people that are a little bit more experienced are a lot more comfortable with pulling that back up, even though you're going. Looks like you might be going 2 rails, but yes. On the bottom side, so taking that side pocket out of the equation, I think that's a pretty smart shot.
Yeah.
It's that one a little bit. Definitely leaving Brian with a head up in that top corner, or bottom corner from where we're looking at now.
It's a tough shot now, no matter how you look at it.
Mm-hmm. I don't think either one of them have have any plans to make it easy for the winner. So
No.
Brian making a great shot on that one, and a good potential from that 7 to the 9. Yeah, looking pretty solid.
Yeah.
Woohoo!
Wow. Late bloomer there.
Barely sneaking that one in, but a great shot nonetheless.
Brought it up to 4-4.
See that one again. See how long it decides to take for it to fall in that pocket.
That's not correct.
Look at that.
Should be 4-4 now, shouldn't it?
4-5.
Okay.
Yeah, one game separates the
Nice
two
luck
of
for a
them.
game. You know what they say, you snooze, you lose.
That's right. So, Brian looking to tie this one back up on this rack. He'd be just as happy Carl doesn't come out of that seat.
Yeah.
And both these guys have, break and run 2 and 3 pack potentials. So it would not surprise me a bit. And leaves himself definitely an open shot on that one ball. So good start for him.
Veteran benefit of a soft break. You control it.
Mm-hmm.
You sledgehammer break, you never know where anything's in it.
And might make 4 balls, but if you don't get on the one, then good control and looking pretty good from this angle. Probably just see a stop shot so he can drift it back out after that 3 ball. Tiny bit more angle on it, but makes it a little easier to get up on it. 4 ball.
Another player I'd like to see come out here and play somebody would be Dennis Long. That would be a very good match.
I haven't seen him in so long. I guess he stays on his side of the world, and I'm supposed to stay on mine. So.
Well, he bought a pool room over in Pinellas County, and that's been keeping him pretty busy. But I know I could find a way to get him in here. Just gotta find the right player for him.
Definitely love to have him. And he
That was
got
a
a little
stroke shot on that.
It was, but he definitely got a whole lot of that one. And Jeremy, it was kind of funny because they even said as soon as they decided to do the opponent ranking, both of them immediately said, "Well, I guess we're just going to take this one back to old school," and I think they're right about that one.
And that's when they implemented the 3 foul.
Yep. Yeah, because neither one, and then both of them will tell you that actually said at the beginning, neither one of these guys are pattern wrecking kind of people or have ever really practiced at that, so it wasn't really a concern as far as that happening, but did decide to just go ahead and do the opponent rack.
Yeah, they're both players that want to win by other shots, not because of technicalities.
Mm-hmm. Got there by Carl. And
yeah, Sal, that was voice towards you.
And there's that smooth stroke we were talking about before, and it's working great for Carl.
Very well done.
6-4. Carl extends his lead back out to 2 games and off to rack number 11.
Amazes me how well Carl
Wow,
still
look at that.
plays
Look at that break.
with his many issues he's had with his vision.
Yeah, he said after last time that he thinks they might have it straightened out a little bit, but he's been shooting pretty good. This I'd say probably about the last month or so.
Yeah.
Off the point a little bit. Doesn't leave it super simple there. I'm not sure if that's I mean, it definitely doesn't look like it's making one in the bottom corner, so we'll see what Brian decides to do to get him away from, or to get him back to the table after this shot. It's going to send it up table and leave that hook behind that 6-ball. And it does look like it's got a piece of it back there. You go to the top. I don't know. It might be open on the edge of it. It might be open just enough to make it into that corner.
One thing I can say is, ever since, Baker's closed up, you've seen a lot of action, go to the wayside. You don't see too many people doing much matchups anymore like you did, I'd say 10 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not just Baker's, it's a number of the different rooms that have changed, whether it be changing ownerships and different processes in place, or a lot of the pool rooms that have just gone out of business.
Unfortunately, I hate to kind of place blame, and I'm going to anyway. There is, and this is not for the majority of the people out there, but there's a lot of people that just don't spend a lot of time in pool halls, and they won't support it, and that makes it really, really tough. We've seen some really great places that was kind of home to a lot of pool players, and when the pool players aren't spending the money and not trying to support the place, and they're running off the customers that do want to support the place, the business can't survive.
Nope. You're 100% correct about that. And the thing about it is, pool players are notorious for being, penny pinching people.
Mm-hmm.
Because, let's face it, the pool has been notorious for the gambling aspect, and that's what gives a lot of pool rooms a bad name.
Mm-hmm. Well, there's a respectable way to do it. No different than what we see here, where two people talk about it. Decide to set up a match and shoot. And it's not it doesn't make it a dirty kind of sport.
No.
It's a very competitive match, a very honest match between them. We've been really, really lucky on the people that's always come out here being good sports and going through the match and paying their bets, and so we always like to see it. So Brian goes up one more, so we got it back down to 6-5 to Carl. But yeah, that's where we are lucky enough to have several pool halls around that do have good tables. Everything from our here on this side with Bruins and Belucas, but they're able to have a hospitality crowd and have a crowd there to also support, even with the amount of tables and all that they have. Another new place, obviously, give a little shout out to Bank Shots over in Dunedin. It's one of our new sponsors over here. Another place that's like that, full liquor bar, got food, so they can actually make a way for people to kind of come and not just play pool, not just gamble, but also to be able to just come in and have a good time, make date nights out of it, and things like that. And hopefully places like that will be able to continue to thrive, so that we don't start one by one losing all of our pool halls.
Yeah, it seems like we just lost one and you're going to gain two more.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a big plus.
We don't get too many of them over here on like the Hillsborough side. Obviously, like the Pinella side, you can find a lot of places over there.
Yeah. Yeah, you can. I know there's a new place that just opened up in Plant City, and I wish them the best. I want to see anybody that decides to take the initiative to open up a room. I wish them the best, and I hope they all survive very well.
Yeah, let's. I mean, definitely give them the show they deserve. That's Mikey's place. I haven't, unfortunately, I haven't made it over there myself, but everybody I've talked to said the tables are great, food, everything about the place. He's really done a good job. Um, Went through exhaustive efforts to get the place opened up. So make sure you check them out over here in Plant City as well.
Yeah, I was actually over there last night, and I did a walkthrough, and those wanted to wish him the best because I know he had been, and I did try and open that place up for quite some time, and I hope it does well.
Absolutely. And I think they, because they really do care about. I mean, obviously we've known Mike and Shannon for a while. They've always cared about the people around them. So I definitely wish them the best. And I think they'll make it successful.
Yeah, I believe they will too.
All right, that's a great shot from Brian there with that cue ball come back down, leaving him very makeable shot on that 2, and the way to get back on that 3 from there.
So he's going after a bridge.
He's tall, but across the 7-foot table tall, that's probably a stretch for anybody.
Yeah, he's got some height to him because he's about 6 foot.
Because he's at least 7 foot off that table.
That would make me 8 foot.
That's right. So good position from Brian, not trying to do too much of the ball, just make it and take the slightly longer shot, but doesn't seem to be an issue for him.
What I tell people that I work with, I always tell them just keep it simple. Simple as solid.
It's hard to shoot an easy lead when you don't make the first ball.
Yep.
This one can be a little more careful of because it's going to have a tendency to want to go across, and I think he was just spending a little bit more time watching the speed of the cue ball on that one.
That's one of those shots that the late great Wayne Ball would say, "No great shot show go on by."
That's right.
Yeah, Wayne, we're still thinking about you.
Absolutely. It was a matter of fact, I was looking for the pictures that we have at the bottom down here and going through Mr. Bill Reed's pictures.
Yeah.
Saw some really great ones of Wayne on there. If anybody's got any bad memories of him, so one of the best people we've ever known.
Yeah, he's very humble. Great guy.
Oh, if you talk to him, he was the worst player on the planet.
Yep, he was very humble. You ever congratulate him on a match, he'll always tell you that he was just more fortunate than his opponent.
The Efren Reyes approach got lucky.
Yep. Yeah, I ran into Efren a few months ago, and he's telling me that he's still trying to retire.
That's funny because I was just watching him last night on a live stream.
Yep.
He's never going to retire. He wouldn't know what he did.
Well, he's rumors got it that he supports 100 families there in the Philippines.
I can believe that.
Yep. So I played golf on the 12-foot snooker table with him on many occasions. Had some good conversations. There's a reason why he's called the magician, because he does magic on that table.
Yeah, it's easy to say that it was luck until he does it 3 times in a row.
Oh yeah, or 10 times in a row. My opinion, he should go down as one of the top players ever lived.
If actually in my mind, I would easily call him the greatest there ever has been. There's people that are going to end up winning more championships, more of this, more of that, and I get that. But being the greatest player has a lot more to do than just winning a title or 2.
Yep. and his ego's never been bigger than his skill.
Mm-hmm.
But you got to keep in mind, growing up in the Philippines, the equipment there is not the greatest.
Yeah, you definitely get to learn from all conditions, and Carl's gonna have a little bit of a tough time on this one. So I think he's gonna. I don't even know if he's gonna make this one. That's a really good decision there, and he does break it out and leaves an open shot for Brian on this one. Not an easy position shot. He's got a little bit of room to bounce it out there.
See, we got a lot of stars up there, 1377.
Always thankful for anybody that's able to help us out over here.
Yeah, ratings are everything. Try to stop behind that.
Yeah.
That 7 ball, I think it is.
I believe we wanted to get a little bit more of that 3 ball. And
yep.
Does come out on and leaves not the easiest shot in the world, but makeable and a little bit of inside English, and I believe he might be able to get that cue ball up there. Overcuts it a little. It's right by the side pocket, but it did kind of sneak past it just a hair. I don't know if he's gonna.
This thing is an automatic shot here.
Yeah.
It's one of the late great Grady Matthews statements there. Yeah, Grady had a lot of good experiences. How are the YouTubers doing?
Mr. Adrian's watching, and I'm guessing Adrian let me know. Yeah. If you're looking at it on a phone, obviously it might be a little small, and we wouldn't be able to see it. But I'm looking at the YouTube stream over here. Check your settings because our YouTube is fortunate enough to be able to show it in full 1080p. So check the settings on there. Make sure that yours is actually set to 1080. And if not, that could be part of the reason. Because as I look at it over here, even on the sides with the phone view, I can still pretty easily see the colors and be able to tell which ball is which on there. Let me know if you're still having trouble. I'll check through the settings a little bit more. Great defense on that one. If that ball keeps going, he's going to make it even tougher.
That's a tough ball to hit.
Yeah, it is. But it looks like now he might be able to, a little bit of spin, take it off that bottom rail. Oh. Catches that 5 ball on the way down and kind of opens up the table a little bit.
Yeah.
So he's just got to concentrate on getting from that 3 to the 4.
Yeah.
Then he may have a pretty good run going.
Carl's one of the few people who can play with either hand.
Mm-hmm. I mean, accurately.
We call that being bilingual. Very well done.
Got to run up a little bit. A little soft, still makeable. Just got to watch that speed coming back down for that 5 ball. He does a great job of being able to control that, bringing it back over towards him a little bit.
That's the benefit of that light cube.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Yeah, because you're not overpowering the ball. Oh, that was unfortunate. You got locked up on that 8-ball.
Wow. Definitely have a little bit of a tough time on this one if it is sitting.
You've got a couple different ways you can go about it, but making the ball is the hard part. Hitting the ball is also equally as hard. And the ball's too close to the 8-ball for him to jump it.
All right, with 3 balls to go, we might see this one get back to being a little closer.
Yeah.
Let's see if I can. Adrian, I'm gonna check that YouTube link that you were talking about and see if I'm seeing the same thing from here.
Wow. Looks like Brian overrolled it for the 8-ball.
A little bit. I believe he's gonna be pretty safe on that one. Yeah, Adrian, you might want to check the settings. When I pull it up on my phone, it's pretty clear on here as well, and it might have automatically knocked it down to like one of the like 2. Oh wow,
Oh, wow.
that is uncharacteristic of Brian. We don't see him miss a whole lot of those.
No. Still not the easiest leave in the world, but it is workable.
Mm-hmm. It's easier to make that one than from sitting in the chair.
Yep. I think I could be the best armchair quarterback that Bulls ever had.
And that's why that's again why it's nice to be on this side of the glass. My best shots in pool are done with a camera.
Yep.
Oh, another miss. To your point, that's it's just it can be kind of a little bit of a
for both of them.
yeah, but that one can be a little bit more of a blind side, but they're both struggling on this game a little bit, just to show you that even some of our better players that come out can they can miss shots just like the rest of us.
Now we brought it up 6-7. Brian just made it a one game difference.
Home and I only got my forum out. I've been
Paying the sponsors, I see.
Every once in a while, we have to earn $1.
Every now and then.
we all picked it up.
Right, so Brian now with the easiest leave in the world, but it seems to be something that kind of keeps happening here. Anyway, that's not terrible because that's not the easiest shot, but Carl's a little fortunate in the fact that he can slow roll that 1 ball in and still have good shape on that 2 ball. He just doesn't really have to do anything with the cue. Everything until the 5's pretty open. But it is 9 balls, so it only takes 1 ball in trouble.
Yeah.
That's going to ruin a run.
So,
here again, it's hard to say that you're going to be in too much trouble with when you can see a ball in trouble down there.
13 games, there only being 1 game separation, this has been a good fight.
Absolutely. A little bit of a rattle.
Yeah. That's why I've told people over the years that, you know, a short race favors the weaker player. The long race, you know, favors the stronger player. But when you go into a race to 15 games, you know, that gives both participants enough time to catch a gear a couple different times throughout the whole match. And so, like I said, you know, at this point, it could be anybody's match.
And so here comes that jump cue, and I would bet that he's going to make it. That 3 ball is going to be a little too. Oh, he catches that 6 ball. But still, that 5 and 7 stay a little tucked in down there. So as far as this one goes, and some of the different misses happened, they might not even care, to be quite honest with you.
Yeah.
Sure, they're perfectly happy with letting the opponent deal with it.
Well, they're both right now both working on the short game. You know, so they both want to let the other, you know, go after that breakout. Brian just went for the breakout and didn't make it. You know, didn't hit it. So
Well, but he may be okay because now there's a couple of different options considering where the 9's sitting and
yeah,
a good angle that he's got on that 4 ball. So he's got a whole bunch to think about here as he goes to the bottom side of it. Go out there and tell Brian to move out of the way. He's in the way of the other camera.
I'll be right on it.
That's right.
Why we have buttons to boost to get a different angle.
That's right. There, Brian, stay out of the way. Get out of the way. Never mind, we'll just change cameras. It's pretty inconsiderate.
How soon before you have cameras in the pockets?
It would be fun to do. I just can't imagine myself drilling holes in that table.
Yeah. Yeah.
Almost got a good little roll out of that one.
Keeping the lenses clean is going to be a tough one.
Well, we have people like Evan On that come out here that drill it at 100 miles an hour. I'm not sure any camera is going to be capable of keeping up with some of that.
You're right. On does play. He has a very, very aggressive game in him. Same with Todd Lovejoy. He plays very aggressive when he wants to play. I remember one year at the West Coast Challenge, they were announcing Todd Lovejoy's name to go to his different matches. And they kept announcing him as Todd Lovejoy.
It might be because it was on the back of his shirt that way. No, I don't know.
No, they just mispronounced it.
Todd, if you're listening to us, we love you.
I hope you're enjoying the Virgin Islands.
Right?
Give me a call when you get back.
That's going to drift over a little further than I believe he wants it to. Looks like he does have at least a touch on the 6 ball, and that could potentially make it. Let's see if he decides to. I don't know that he has a whole lot of options, but to go ahead and try to play that one in.
Yeah, I definitely have to say this is an entirely different way of playing pool. You know, nice, quiet, nice room, no interruptions.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it makes it so much better in so many different ways.
So that was a good try. Fortunately, comes back out and leaves Carl with a shot. I don't know that he had a whole lot of different options for that one. So sometimes
You
you
had to
just,
go for the cut.
yeah, sometimes you got to try it.
Sometimes it's not about, trying to play a good save. It's just sometimes a shot is the out.
I'm sure there's plenty of people out there that's thinking that they would have played that a different way, but the difference is well, they weren't at the table.
It's stereo.
And we can, even from sitting where we are, as close as we are to the table, we could have made that shot a whole bunch of different ways.
Oh yeah, we could have missed it a lot more.
I just have to say it when I'm longer than my cue stick will reach.
Carl just brought it up to 8-6.
Trying to keep that two game. Mm-hmm. Doing a good job with it. Let me check with them since we have hit the halfway point and see if they want to take.
Time for recess. Do they want their intermission?
Yes. Okay, so they're going to take a real quick break since we have hit the halfway point, and we'll be back with everybody in just a moment. Hopefully you'll stick around. We are back. You can see the players up at the table getting ready for, what's this, right, number 15. Had to take a little short break and prove exactly why it is that we call that room taking shots.
Yeah, we were taking shots.
So Carl up with a decent break, but not exactly the outcome that he may want. Did pocket a ball, but pretty tough shot on that one ball. I'm not sure if he can kind of bend it around a little bit and get to that. It's queuing up like it's going straight towards it, so maybe it's got a little bit more room than what it looks like from back here. Double kiss. Finally got a little lucky. Left it a little bit of a cut for him, but a little bit of speed control, and Brian should be able to make this and get a position. I definitely see some comments from people I know very well. Mr. Marcos, how are you doing today? Glad that you decided to join us. And Dale, we'll see you whenever you get here. A little bit of language that I don't understand, so I apologize for that one.
What's happening, Poppy? I just lost to Marcos this past week.
That's clear. There's a lot of people in that category. Marcus is a pretty good shot.
Yeah.
Keep bugging him, telling him he's ducking everybody that wants to that doesn't want to play against him. He's a tough person to shoot against.
Yep.
But definitely one of the nicest people I know.
Very nice, very pleasant, very respectful.
Him and his wonderful new bride.
Yeah, they make a great couple.
Absolutely. And Carl got a little bit of a cut on that 2-ball. Probably see that one run a little bit. I think he's aiming a little inside, try to help kill that shot a little bit. Oh, look at that! That's the safety of the day right there.
That's easy. Then I've seen Brian make shots like this.
Well, he's got a little bit of a path, but he's gonna have to close that in, or he's gonna have to open it up. If he's looking on the left side of that 3-ball. Yeah,
which is the better side.
It's gonna go a little right on that one, but there's a big path of the Englishes, right?
It's coming from a banker.
Look at that.
Look at that.
It's such an easy game when it's done right, but it gets a little unfortunate with the lead after that one.
Yeah, this match has actually been going pretty quick.
Yes.
With as many games as been played.
Mm-hmm.
We've only had a couple of games that went a little bit slow, but they're very meticulous.
Well, you said it best earlier with the respect these two guys are showing. If he just about gets lucky, and then he gets very unlucky in the same process. I almost saw one thing that I talked about before. Whenever because I've never personally myself agreed with putting the butt of the cue like in a pocket. If he puts the butt of the cue in that pocket and that 4-ball starts to go in there, if you don't get it out quick enough, that's a problem. If that 4-ball doesn't drop or it hits, you've performed a foul. I mean, you did scratch in the process, but
9-ball, all balls are live.
I mean, they are playing, technically cue ball foul only, but that's a different rule than what we're talking about here.
Yes.
If you're impeding traffic of a ball, that's a whole different thing.
Right.
Carl making some nice work out of this one. I don't see any problems here with a little stop shot. He's going to be sitting pretty good on that 7-ball. So it's just connecting the dots.
Yep.
Pretty strong. They can go forward or backward on this one.
Yeah. Just keep it simple is all he needs to do.
Mm-hmm. Got a little close to the ball, but it's still looking pretty safe.
Yeah, small little draw to the side rail, and that's it.
All right, a great out for Karl Marx, and taking, I believe this is the biggest distance between in the scoreboard right now with a 3-game lead.
Yep.
Head on to rack number 16.
Another person I'd like to see doing the live stream would be like Carl and Mike Bovine.
Mm-hmm.
That would be a good match, and also Brian and Mike Bovine.
And he's Mike Levine has said something before about wanting to come out, but I do tell people that I can do my best to try to set up a match for you. It's not always as easy as it sounds. Sometimes it works out, but more often than not, it's better received from, like, if I wanted to play against somebody, for me to reach out to them directly, and nobody ever minds doing that. So I mean, we'll do whatever we can to help, but if something kind of lands in our lap, but me just calling somebody up and saying, hey, such and such wants to call you, and look at that shot, a little lucky and a little unlucky all at the same time. So it makes the 2. Narrowly is able to keep it on the table, but then gets hooked behind that 6.
Jump you up.
So that's an extended jump there. He's got to go a pretty long distance.
I'm one of those don't run from those shots.
All right, nicely done. Leaves it right by that corner pocket, but with that 4-ball all the way down table. And there again, Carl's not typically one to take such a swing at it to try to get all the way back down table. He'll play it, give himself a good look at the 4, and determine what's the best option from there.
Yeah, they're both very smart players.
Mm-hmm. Well, he definitely took a swing at that. And he might get rewarded. That's how you get position on that 4-ball. Great shot from Carl.
And he's playing it off.
A nice leave on that one. So he's definitely giving himself a really good chance now.
Yeah.
It's funny. We were even talking about before that when it comes to like the difference between a standard 10-ball and a standard 9-ball, that 9-ball having obviously a little bit more elemental luck to it, and 10-ball having all called shots, all more controlled, that just from the typical stroke that the two of them use, my thought was that 10-ball might actually favor Carl, where 9-ball might favor Brian, because Brian does have a tendency to stroke the ball a little bit more firm, a little bit more confident, than the way that Carl is very, very position oriented, getting from one ball to the next. And shots like that last one very much proved me wrong.
Yep. And Carl has extended his lead again to 10-6.
He's getting this one into the critical zone now, where 5-point lead, or 4-point lead with 5 to go.
That's a good safe place to be.
Mm-hmm.
But you can't give up yet.
Absolutely not. We've definitely seen things turn around very quickly.
And Brian is one that is good about when it's coming down to all or nothing. He does. He uses his favorite poker hand. He goes all in.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't count him out yet.
Well, and both of them have multiple games that they can play where if one's not working, let's change it and try something else. And
Absolutely. That's where the experience comes into play.
100%. That's a whole lot different than trying to play another game that you're just not experienced with.
Yeah.
And hoping that you figure it out during the match. Because if you're already down and trying something that you're not experienced with, you're in a lot of trouble. So Carl with a great shot on that one. Leaves himself a good open shot on that 2 ball coming back down. 3 balls laying right there waiting. So we've got a few new people that's joined us, and thank you very much. Getting those view counts up a little bit. Always great to see that. For those of you that haven't already done it, if you enjoy watching some of the poll action on our stream, if you don't mind, that follow button always helps us out. Obviously, the like button does too, so feel free to tap on those as much as you want to. Preferably an odd number so that it stays followed.
Yeah, to all of you viewers out there, don't just think of this as these 2 people just playing a game. I think of it as it's an opportunity for you to expand on your personal game, so you can learn from them, seeing the way they stroke the ball, seeing the choices of the shots that they're making, and it may help you with your game.
And he just very much proved exactly what you were talking about, because that 3 ball was open for that pocket, but he'd have really had to put a stroke on it to get it up on, because it was very, very straight. So it was very difficult to go on that 4 ball. So rather than doing that, look at the way he's left it. Brian's probably going to come a couple of rails here to make contact. And that was, albeit a good try. I think that might have been the inevitable from the bottom side of that 3 ball like that.
Well, the thing about when you have, the class of the Titans like we have here, granted there are better PL players out there, there's worse players out there. I being one of them. But you can, like I said, you can learn a lot from the choices that these players are making throughout this match, and you can learn from it.
It looks like we're going to see another defense on this one. We're trying to keep that 3 ball behind that horse and that cue ball up a little bit. That gets, okay, I thought I was going to sit right behind that 6 ball. So this shouldn't be a hard one to hit, but it still will be a way for Carl to get back to the table.
Yeah, because here's where he opens up the table.
Oh, very well, very skilled play shot. Yeah.
Now we've got a chess game going on, and this will play into Carl's hand.
Oh, that got some potential right there.
That was very well done.
I was going to lock on that 7 ball sitting up there.
That would have made it worse.
And right back down. 3 ball catches around. Great shot. Hey, you look down there to see if that ball's frozen. Sneak in here a little bit. A little up close and personal. So we're going to see about the same thing when trim the edge of it. And Brent's got a good opportunity to be able to get up there and get hidden.
That was a good save.
Yeah. Still successful.
You still see a piece of it, if not the whole ball.
Wants that cue ball to get a little bit more hidden. It's like he's leaving a bit of an open shot for him.
Yeah. Left him a stroke shot. That's the problem with a safe game. Sooner or later, it's going to leak.
Mm-hmm. Ryan with a good opportunity here to close that gap back up a little bit.
Yeah, he needs to get to gear right now.
Yeah. Good speed on that one. Just wants to leave maybe a tiny angle on that one so that he can. Oh. That's one he'd like to have back.
Yes, he would.
This one's, I mean, it has the potential of going in, but it is still long cut shot. Not a hanger by any stretch of the imagination, but if he makes the shot, he decided to play a little bit more defensive role, and wow, that was a good job. That seven's definitely in the way. You might be able to again bend it around a little bit with some bottom inside English, but
Another stroke loose.
Yeah. One more opportunity here. I don't think too much is going to get in the way of him getting out on this one. We'll play this on 2 rails. Unless he's going to back. Might be using a little bit of right and come straight back out. And he is. So just 1 rail and back up.
Good lead.
Mm-hmm. He's got plenty of room now. I'll look down here from the corner. Great job, solid shot, and going up to 11-6. 5-game lead and 4 to go. Carl's in a very commanding position right now.
Very commanding.
Balls are very clean. Yeah. Everything is like it is.
Those people that happen to be watching in, I'm definitely getting a few between text messages and some Facebook instant messages. Definitely we're not trying to ignore you, trying to answer them as quick as we can. There's a lot that goes on in this booth. I know you're not able to see that. So if I'm not able to get to you super quick, I really apologize. But obviously whenever the players are playing, we're gonna concentrate on that a little bit more. But I will get back to you as quick as we can.
And we do appreciate all your comments.
Absolutely. Brian, right now there's actually only 4 that's going on. We can have up to 6, but that becomes that much more complicated. So the 4 that we have tend to take care of of most of our needs here. Right, Carl going to the backside of this one and leaving himself a little bit of a long shot, but still leaving himself a shot, and that's kind of the important part.
Both of these opponents both pocket balls very well.
Oh, absolutely. A little help. I'm still
He tried to steer it in.
stands up and bobbles a little bit.
It's unlike Carl would be trying to steer it in.
I'm not 100% agree with that.
But we all have a tendency to do that.
I'm curious with the distance he's playing. If he's going to play this one rail first and try to come around, or if he's just going to draw this one straight back. Decided to play that one rail, and it looks like it come back out pretty good.
It's still not an easy shot by any means.
Now, I believe he's going to just kind of draw and drift this one over a little bit, depending on the speed. Either take that 7 ball over the top corner, right where he's standing, or draw it a little harder and leave in that side pocket.
Yeah,
That was option B. That's my option B. That's his option A.
that was the option we neither one of us thought about. But
Yeah, because if we do take a look, I think he's a little bit off the angle that he'd like to have, but he can run that one around. That 9 ball should not come into play. Decided to play the easier way, so I like it.
Sometimes when you're on the bottom side of the stack, you're better off by going back to basics. Do what you can do consistently.
And he's definitely a shot maker, so
Yeah.
he's gonna run this one a little further than he wanted to, but
Oh, looks like he's got a side pocket shot.
yeah, he's got. That's a tough cut.
One of my favorite shots.
And there's definitely people. I mean, it's funny because the side pockets. I mean, that's the biggest pockets on the table, but start getting that kind of an angle on it, it definitely gets a whole lot smaller.
Oh, it does.
But at least if you miss that one, it's going to go up table. Or you just put it right in the middle and don't worry about what happens after. That's a great shot from Brian. Bringing that up to 11-7. So
Yeah.
a 4-point difference.
Like I'm on the phone.
It's good to see Brian get back in the game.
Mm-hmm.
But this is one of the methods that makes you a better player is getting into these bigger matches, especially when you're being unmolested by other people in the pool room. You get to actually focus and not have to think about all your distractions. Takes a lot of elements out of the equation.
Yeah, adds a few in just as well, but
Yes, yes.
because this is just not something. I mean, this is something obviously that pros that are used to shooting and things that are a little bit more. We almost call it sterile environments. Where things are very much more centered on them, kind of a center stage sort of effect.
Yeah. Some people perform better when they have all those distractions than when they don't.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, here there are no bad spots at the table. You have plenty of room going all the way around the table. No interruptions. You don't have bar stools in your way. You don't have any kind of obstructions.
The drunk guy going to the bathroom.
You don't have one guy, falling on the table while you're in the middle of a shot. Yeah, Alan, you've done a really good job setting this facility up.
So I appreciate that.
Yeah, I've seen the potential when you first moved in, and you've come a long way.
A big old bare bones building sitting over here, just waiting for a couple of tables to be in it.
No. That's what they say. We all have our priorities.
Mm-hmm.
I'd have to say this is what they classify as a hidden treasure.
This is my retirement over here.
Yep.
Maybe by then, whenever I can't see anymore, I'll get better at pool.
Yeah. You take lessons from Carl.
Right.
Yeah, I've seen people that
Ooh.
some of them that have aged quite a bit. They would go and look at the pocket, and then look at what ball they got to shoot into the pocket, and look at the cue ball, and then they have to go back and look at the other pocket and the other balls again because they were so blind.
The very first person that I ever took lessons from was a gentleman named, everybody called him Cowboy. He was over at Park Place Billiards, if anybody on the stream remembers that, over in Clearwater. And I bet that gentleman, he could teach very well, but he couldn't see 3 feet in front of him.
Didn't he die a couple years ago?
I don't know. I haven't seen anything. I actually don't even really know his real name. And I mean, he worked with me trying to get me out of being an APA 2 for quite a period of time. And I never knew how he could teach me when he didn't know whether or not I made a ball or not. But he found a couple of very specific, very easy technical flaws that he fixed, and started going up in handicap. So less than anybody out there, that if you're having some of those little technical difficulties, find somebody to help out. They don't have to be like the most expensive instructors out there. Just have somebody that actually knows the game, knows the techniques, and or the technical aspect of it. They could just sit there and watch you a few shots. Say, hey, stop doing this. Watch that chicken wing.
Yep.
That's a little bit, but comes out not smelling too bad on that one.
The benefit of getting somebody to watch the way you're playing, and giving you some thoughts to watch out for, can sometimes be very advantageous, because the only way you're going to get better is by learning what your flaws are. One of the best methods that I have learned over the years is, if you have a table at home and you can set up a camera on a tripod, or should I say a video camera on a tripod, and videotape the way you're shooting, the way your stance is, it's all going to help quite immensely.
Great shot. And as you were saying it, Mr. Justin Stockdown here actually typed in the exact same thing, second set of eyes, or he records himself. Where everybody's got a phone now.
Yep.
Throw the thing on a tripod. You can even do it in slow motion if you want to. Great out for Brian there, making sure that he sinks that 9 ball dead in the middle of the pocket.
Bringing it to a 3-point game now.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, these long races, both participants can, catch a gear multiple times in the match and come alive. The way it's going now, it looks like it's going to be a very close match.
Mm-hmm.
Which is what Alan, you and I both had anticipated from the gate.
100%.
One thing that we do know is we know the players. That's always a great benefit too.
Yes.
Oh, the comments coming out there.
Coming good. Well, it's funny whenever you're watching. I mean, anybody knows that when you're watching like on your phone, the best viewing angle doesn't put the comments on the screen.
Yeah.
So a lot of times we'll start off with a lot of comments, and they'll sort of die off a little bit, and they might come back a little bit. Kind of goes back and forth, but it makes the screen so small, or so many missed angles on here.
Yep.
Whenever you do try to look at the comments, I wish there was a better way to do it, but can't really do it without taking away some of the screen space.
Oh, absolutely. Like, when I look at it, when I'm at home, sometimes I'll put it on my 82-inch big screen.
Mm-hmm.
See everything then.
Absolutely. Mine and boss wife are inside watching on the big screen in there as we talk.
Yep.
Justin, it's actually relatively simple to set up. I don't know how far you are from this Riverview area. If you're not sure where Riverview is, it's actually right over by just the east side of Tampa. Brandon's probably a little bit more known, and it's just below where Brandon is. If you find somebody that you want to match up with, then you've done about 90% of the work. From that point, it's just get up with me, let me know that you want to be able to play, and let's figure out a time and date and get out here. We don't close the doors to anybody. Whoa! If he tries to draw that one, stabs it through the middle a little bit. And I guess he was stuck behind that 7 a little more than I thought he was. I know Palm Harbor very well. Lived there just a few years back, and everybody in the area knows Stroker. So, yeah, definitely get up with us sometime. And and I don't know how early you were on the stream, but I'm always willing to try and help somebody find a matchup. It's typically a very difficult process for me because I don't necessarily know how everybody plays, and so it's hard to tell somebody that might also not know. But if you've got a match in mind, then let's get it set up. We'll always find the time.
And when you're trying to set up those times, try to leave a few different options of dates and times, because sometimes scheduling can sometimes become a factor.
Mm-hmm. Slowly but surely, we're getting a little busier as far as booking those times up. But as much as we like people repeating, being able to see new faces in here, that really is just it's a great experience for us. So Carl making nice out on that one, finishing that game off, going back to a 4-point lead. Well, he needs 3 more games, so he's got to be feeling comfortable, but still has to close it out.
Comes a 9 ball. There's only one ball that matters. As the great words of Johnny White, cheeser pleaser.
I think his name came up last night, as a matter of fact. I haven't seen him in a while either.
I'm one of the few people who can do his laugh like he does. That's from playing and gambling with Johnny for many, many years.
Another cue ball in that corner pocket. If there's a flaw in his game, that's the one spot there. And he doesn't have many.
I remember when Johnny was younger and he was playing real good. He was taking on everybody.
Mm-hmm.
The person I'd like to see get a matchup would be Jimmy Red and the guys he plays one pocket with.
No, I haven't seen him in a while.
No.
We do have some one pocket matches here. Sometimes those that can be a tough watch.
Yes, you can.
It depends on the players, obviously. Some players can make that quite exciting.
Yeah. And that's a fun game. That's a chess game of all games.
Mr. Michael Collins, good to see you on the stream, and thank you for the stars. Obviously appreciate that. Appreciate your match last night. I know that one came out different than the first time that y'all met up, but from mine and from the viewers' perspective, you guys really shoot an exciting match, and I always appreciate that.
It's always great to see some good talent.
Absolutely. And I think I need to bring in some ones that don't shoot very good, just to try to make some of this feel a little bit better. And
yeah,
these guys come out, shoot like A players sometimes, and oh crap! Now I got to practice that much more. Jeez.
Yep. I for one haven't practiced much in a couple of years.
That's one of those things. I was talking to a friend of mine earlier about he's a little bit newer player and trying to figure out some different drills that would help him out. Gave him a couple that I go back to that I would consider them very basic, but they're ones that just plain help. And it's one single object ball, one single thing to do. But if they're not working, the rest of the game's not been working. And
Well, after this match, if you want, I can spend a little time with you on the table, show you a few drills that I use when I practice, and they're good for a number of different things. One for pocketing balls, two controlling the speed and the angles. Uh, there's a lot of drills out there. Everybody's got their own drills, and it's a good thing to have because practice makes perfect. If you don't practice, you're only going to be shortening your skills.
and they well, and drills help so much more whenever it comes to the game in general. And I've got when looking them up and obviously different, whether it's videos or books, might have a ton of different drills, but it's always nice to be able to hear potential new ones.
That's one thing that I can definitely say is that when the reason why the Asians play so well and they are just phenomenal at the game is because when they're practicing a shot, we might practice the same shot for 5 or 10 times, and then we'll move on to the next shot.
Mm-hmm.
They practice the same shot. When they do it 100 times in a row, then they move to the next shot.
The funny thing about that one is that, and somebody gave me an idea one time, and I use it all the time, and that is if you just take whether it's a quarter piece of chalk and put it on the first diamond that's closest to you, and practice the shot, and then do it with all 15 balls. When you've made all 15, you move that up one diamond, and by the time that quarter comes all the way back around the table, it's roughly in the like 270 something ish times that you've shot that. And if you're not pretty consistent by that point, start over and do it again.
Yep.
And that's about the dedication that pros use, to make their worst shot one of their best shots.
Yep. You have to practice. Because if you don't practice, and if you just play games, that's all you're doing is playing games. You're just doing it for entertainment. But if you're going to get serious about it, you have to be one dedicated to the game, and you're going to have to live, eat, and breathe the game.
Mm-hmm.
And there's so many people that are not that disciplined. Me being one of them.
It's tough because I'll go through spells of doing it. Carl with a nice jump shot there, and he kind of got a little rewarded because that seven's a little bit tied up down there. But Brian does have I don't think he's going to go for it, but there is a potential 5-9. He's sure pointing at it.
Yeah.
See some stars pouring in over here from Aaron and from Mr. Heath Pope. Really appreciate it from both of you.
Hello, Heath. Hope you're doing well.
Brian makes a good attempt at it, but that's kind of the problem with that shot. It's going to be a little problem if it didn't. But I guess on the positive side, that 7 ball that's not hanging in the pocket either. So it's got a little work to do on this one.
Well, and I want to thank you for inviting me over here to sit in because it's been an enjoyable experience.
Oh, it's been great having you. We get to hang out a lot at obviously at the pool hall, but that's always very interrupted time.
Yes, it is.
And these these two players as well as I do, and know their talent and skill level. So it's really nice having you here as well.
I appreciate that.
Ooh, that really looked like it was sitting pretty, but
I'm talking about that was a hell of a safe shot.
absolutely.
How could you play it any way different?
I had the beer holder. Came out nice.
It amuses me. You painted your room about the same color I painted mine.
This one in here?
Yeah. No, not this one. I'm talking about the room where the tables are.
Oh, so you're a Cowboys fan too?
No, I'm not a Cowboys fan. Although I'm not gonna hold it against you. But at the same time, that color of gray is a very neutral color, and it enhances the pool room.
If you're telling everybody I was a Cowboys fan, I probably just lost half my viewers. Now I don't know if that 7 ball touched, and it obviously didn't. That was a PK. Obviously couldn't have hit it much better. This sure sitting right by that rail. It almost looks like it's sitting dead on it.
Now, I can definitely compliment you. One thing about the Dallas Cowboys, they have the most phenomenal cheerleaders.
One thing I've learned is as a Dallas Cowboys fan, you cannot doubt our dedication.
No, well, I've been a Pittsburgh
Great
Steelers
job.
fan since I was 6 years of age, and I'm not a big fan of these people that are fair weather fans.
Right.
If you pick a team, stick with it.
Mm-hmm.
And then, because that just shows, loyalty and a lot of other good things.
That was an excellent shot too. So
Yeah, it was.
if that cue ball touches, that is a very legal shot that sticks it right behind that 8-ball. So Brian definitely has the speed of the table down pretty good for the distance that one was just shot. So he's having to bend that one a little bit. Yeah, that he's just trying to back this. He might have a clean hit, but once that to slow down a
Very
little bit.
well done.
That slows down. That's a good shot.
That's a lock.
Looks like you can definitely hit it.
It looks like he's hooked, by the edge of the ball. I think he's gonna have to kick at it.
He's definitely got a little space in there. There you go. And with that 9-ball sitting there, it wants that to get really big, but it definitely stood up on the other side of it just a hair.
One of those, he's got to go for a shot. Brady was here. He was telling me that was a dead 2-row shot.
We'll see that 7-ball
Also known as a free shot. Very well done, Carl.
I think he's definitely got a piece of it sitting in the way. See a lot of new people that are starting to tune in, and obviously really, really appreciate that. We've had even the score itself doesn't reflect how close this game's been all the way through. Glad to see people jumping in here and watching two of my favorite players.
And people, match up, head up, instead of looking for all these spots and stuff, when they're evenly matched. That's always a blessing to see, because most of the time you see people, wanting to have a lock on a game, and to me that's not gambling, that's not competing.
Mm-hmm.
That's just looking for a gift.
The art of the hustle.
Yeah. And the game was never designed about a hustle. It was always defined by two gentlemen playing a game and competing, and may the best man win. All about respect.
All right, great lead there. That's going to come right back around nicely.
Beautiful. That's a good lead.
Yeah, he can choose which side he's going to want to lead this one on. He is letting that stroke out a little bit more, and choosing to go back to the other side.
He's feeling more confident.
Definitely is. Yeah, with 3 games to go, possibly soon to be 2 games to go. All of a sudden, we feel like we have to stay quiet so that he can make that shot like we're standing beside him on the golf course.
Right, they didn't stop to clean his leg, get the rough out of his way so it doesn't deflect the ball.
Take a little look at that last one real quick while they're wrecking all of this up.
Now Carl has brought it 13-8. Now we've got a 5-point game again.
Sinks that 1 ball in the top corner. I mean, there's room for that 2 ball to go by that 7. It's pretty tight though, considering that he's going to want to try to get something on that 3 ball. Doesn't have to get on top of the 3, but Just have to watch that speed a little bit. Great shot there. Great shot up table. No, wrong one. Sometimes we need to see the same instant replay, so we'll just go back to the other angle.
And the unfortunate part about Carl being a league operator is that it doesn't give him the time to play as much as he would like to. Even though he's got a table at home, nobody likes to play by themselves.
Oh, it's simple. Again, we'll go through spells, I think. I believe that's anybody that really wants to try to dedicate, you'll go through spells of where you will practice that much, and then you'll find something else to do. It's a little bit of a opportunity for Brian here as he misses that bottom corner pocket.
Yeah, right now it's a 7-2 race. That's a brutal race. The two double bonds.
Well, whenever it comes to the two of them playing in league, I'm sure they face a lot of those kind of races because all the captains want to throw off on them.
Yep.
So they end up in a whole lot of those 6-2 kind of situations.
Yeah, but you don't have the skill levels
correct
matching.
Brian not getting too good of a roll on that one.
Fortunately, he just missed that shot.
Mm-hmm. Looked like he was trying to play that rail first and off the bottom of that 7 ball.
Yeah.
And if it went, it doesn't look like he'd have had a great lead, but that's kind of a moot point here. All right. Good position play on that one.
Yeah. They're both very good position players.
Oh, absolutely. A little nudge. So it's a pretty good angle to lay it over there on that side pocket.
Yeah. Make one, carry one. Make one, carry one. I remember playing Jay Flowers. Him on the hill, and I came back 3 straight to win. And there was that one game where he had his 8 ball hanging in the hole, and I had to make a ball, break one out. Make a ball, break one out. 4 consecutive shots. I was very fortunate that day, but he was much more skilled than I will ever be.
And like we said earlier, sometimes the pool gods are just forever in your favor.
Well, sometimes, you catch a gear that people don't see too often. I remember back at Brandon Billiards, I don't know if you were there, and I think you were, when I played Joe Scarborough in Preston. And he's the better player, but fortunately I played real aggressive and got over on him.
Mm-hmm. Where is my other? Okay. One of the people we want to definitely make sure we take an opportunity to thank if anybody's over in the Pinellas area or heading towards the Pinellas area. Bank Shots over there, a little bit lower place. Really, really great place to go and play some. So go check them out sometime.
Where are they at in Pinellas County?
They're over in Dunedin.
Dunedin, okay. I'll be looking for that place sometime over there.
Yeah, full liquor bar and
my kind of place.
Food and everything else. We've got it taken care of.
And that's got to be one of those places I get to say, are we playing for cocktails?
Yeah, see a potential 3-9 could go a couple of different ways here. So got a carom, we got a combo, and we have just a plain defense. Good, actually, even
I'd say
cut
the
that
carom
3 ball.
would be the better shot.
Mm-hmm. Great shot.
As if it had eyes.
Couldn't have played that one much better.
Nope. That was a phenomenal shot.
Mm-hmm.
That was my first line off the bird.
Brian's brought it to an 11-9 deficit for him. Again, I want to thank all you viewers for sending us your comments. They're very much appreciated. Sorry if we don't get back to you in a timely fashion. You know, we are short-staffed today. Not too short-staffed, but a lot of improvements are being made. Very well done. It's safe.
I like it.
Hopes everybody's enjoying this matchup. Nice shot, Carl. That went down a little bit. It's score right. Carl's at 14.
Yep. Sitting on the hill, ready to close this one out.
Yeah. Been a great match overall.
Mm-hmm. Like I said, the score definitely doesn't reflect the way they've been shooting, and that's a great shot. Ooh. Sure,
Almost
flirting with
a
that
leaker.
side pocket.
I don't know.
I believe at this point, Brian's going to try to come with a shot here and see if he can't bend that one back over and come around the bottom side of that 6-ball. See a pretty draw shot here. I didn't get the right on it that I believe he wanted to, unless he was trying to stay on the top of it.
Brian's got a very, very solid stroke when he needs to move that cue ball around.
Mm-hmm. So has to play a good defense there.
That's a very good defense. That's a tit for tat kind of defense, and
Mr. Brian Gregor's decided to join us, and yes, sir, that is Mr. Don Martin. See how big that 9-ball gets on this shot.
get fat 9 ball.
Sneaks it right behind it. That's a great shot.
That ball got huge.
That's why it never fits in the pockets.
Yep, because it overwhelms. You know, for my puppies, I bought them a tennis ball. It's this big. It's the size of a basketball. And then my two puppies, they fight over it.
Switch this one over and get a little bit better look at that one. And great hit from Brian, but he does leave a shot for Carl. Carl wants to close this one out right now, I'm sure.
He doesn't want it to get too close. And Carl's not one of your regular league players. He wants to take the wind out of your lungs.
Mm-hmm.
Every time he gets to the table.
Yeah, absolutely. And John, I see you joined us. Thank you, as always. Liking the fact that you're enjoying our stream each time, and thank you for the stars. That's always appreciated. And we have a bobble. He wiped his feet and didn't go in.
I believe that pocket is broke because Brian hung the ball in that same pocket the same way, and I think that pocket's broke. We need to get a table mechanic out there.
That's right. Sure, both of them might agree right now. There's been a few bobbles on these tonight. All right. Well, those two pockets aren't broken. I don't expect this one to be either, so.
No.
All right.
Very well done, Brian. Brings it 10-14. All being on the hill.
Mm-hmm.
Well, for Brian here, it's all or nothing.
While they're racking this one up, I do want to remind everybody, you can see that we've had the Doug and Michael match last night. We've got Brian and Carl tonight. Tomorrow we got Samir and Wayne, followed by Mike Burke and Brian Taman. So hopefully y'all will join us the rest of the weekend. We have a full action-packed weekend coming up. And a 9-ball goes down. Brian picks up another game, bringing that from a little ways down to now within 3. So Brian's getting himself within striking distance. I would say Carl would probably turn this one around backwards, but 9-ball's still going to be in the middle. I don't think it's going to do a whole lot of good.
Nope. Well, you know, both of these guys are both very talented, and they're also very fair players. They're not going to try and get over on the other by way of giving one or the other a bad rap.
Oh, no.
They both want to see the better player win.
9-ball with a little movement, but sideways doesn't find a pocket. But he does leave an open shot on that 1 ball. A little bit of a cut here, but it's been pretty good.
That's a nice open table right there.
Brian seeing what he can do to try to slice that one in or hide it, either one. Decides to go ahead and shoot for that pocket. Gets a great leave out of it. If he makes it, sitting pretty. And not making it still leaves one between. So see which way Carl decides to go with this one. If he's going to try to play this one off the rail. It's like he's keeping that stick in his hand.
Yeah. Nice little soft little masse.
Mm-hmm. Catches it a little on the light side, but does not leave an easy shot. Right.
Very well done.
Nice little love tap on that one. And
got him back
keep going again.
Good recovery, Brian.
Yeah, there's not any quit in either one of these guys.
No. No better teacher than experience.
Mm-hmm.
my advice to people: if you want to get really good, hit as many of the big tournaments as you can, and it will teach you so many different aspects of the game, so you can go up to even higher competition.
Got so many great weekend tournaments and things like that around here
Yeah.
that even myself, I mean, a lot of times I miss them because we do like to be able to do the live streaming thing, but give more time. Find some of those tournaments to go to if you want to elevate your game. Because again, league play is great. It's definitely going to help you week for week, and the ability to play against people, stay in stroke, things like that. But it's never going to be. I don't think it's ever going to be the same type of concentration as what the weekend tournaments or coming out to places like this, and you kind of put the pressure on yourself.
One of the best things that I ever did was when I was in California living there. And when I made my decision to move out here, was to play the strongest people I could, and also, I joined the Florida Pro Tour when there was one, and that was a great experience for me. And me being the underdog in those events, gave me some good experience, and I considered all those entry fees as paying my tuition to a better game.
That's your lessons.
Yep. And that was the cheapest way for me to go about that, instead of playing these $1,000 sets with people I had no chance of beating.
It's expensive lessons.
Yeah, those are expensive lessons. Some of them are very valid as well. But at the same time, the better high-level competition you can get in, the better you will do.
I think we might be nearing an end on this match, as Carl has a very makeable 9-ball in that side pocket.
Carl did a very fabulous matchup here. He did really well, and my hat's off to both competitors. They both performed very well, even though I have seen better games out of both of them, but I've also seen worse games out of both of them. They both played very well, and it was good to see.
All right, so obviously we wanted to thank both Brian and Carl for coming out and showing off a little bit for us. Great match to watch. And again, we have the entire weekend coming up. Also want to give a big thank you to Mr. Don Martin sitting over here with me for joining us throughout the last few hours and being able to help with some of the entertainment, and hopefully everybody enjoyed it. We're probably going to have a ring game coming up in a little bit. There won't be as much commentary on that because, man, those guys played for a long time. But we will still be here to be able to stream it. And, of course, the tournaments that we were talking about a little bit ago for the weekend. And join us often, and we will talk to everyone soon. Thank you very much.